art and what it means for us in my name is Andy. I'm sorry for that. My name is Andy, and I'm a graphic artist, digital artist per se, and I've been in the digital world for a long time. And NFTs is just something that caught my eye, and it was
Pavel
something
a
that I
Marek
really had to
využívají
get
étorok
into. And I had my partner here, Artific, and you know him from galleries on the digital world. He's hosting a bunch of them every week, so you have to check that out. And without any further ado, we're going to start talking today about what are NFTs. And we're going to be showing a couple of the famous NFTs and some of them that are not known and why. So I'm going to pass it on to my partner here.
Yeah, hello guys, Jarda, aka Artific here. So welcome to the podcast we're doing. Very excited to start with Andy on this one. And we wanted to bring you a couple of different NFT collections that we think that brings really the main ideas what NFTs are and what gives them value. And probably the most iconic are the CryptoPunks that you can see here on this virtual browser that we have in the metaverse. You can see a couple of them on the OpenSea, but well, as probably all of you know, there's just well, many of them, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, also if you look at the value and some of these like larger sales, they're going into the crazy, even like hundreds of ETH, which well, it's like millions of dollars. Pretty crazy.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw an NFT being sold for a couple of ETH, and I was like, "What is that? Something real? I mean, is this something that a person is gonna get in the mail, or is it just an image, a JPEG on the internet? You know?"
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, when I first saw them, yeah, I didn't like them very much. I still don't like the art part very much. Yeah, I'm not really into pixel art.
I don't like them
guys.
either, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, look at them.
yeah.
Anyways, but the thing is about NFTs is that it's not only about how good the art is. You know, it has a lot more behind it than what you typically would think. And you're gonna hear a lot in the news and the crypto world articles that NFT is just like a fad, something that's gonna pass over really soon. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so yeah, actually here this is also about the valuation quite interesting. Like the floor on the on the CryptoPunks is right now at 20 ETH, which is probably somewhere around like 1 Bitcoin. So that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, about what if it's going to pass? Well, I don't think so. There are definitely some NFTs that are here because there's a lot of NFTs around. Some will pass, and some will probably just be forgotten. But yeah, the punks they are first one that really grabbed the attention a lot, and you know you can't duplicate them. They are on the blockchain forever, and whether you like them or not, they became sort of this culture inheritance, which we are be talking about like for years to come, I believe.
True. Oh yeah, totally agree. And one thing that is very interesting a lot about all the NFTs that are coming out is that you have like two different trends. You got the AI powered art and, and tokens, and then you have the artist powered tokens. And what I mean by that is that, for example, the CryptoPunks, they were built as a not a joke, but more like something to try out, like a test of a code, and it just happened to pop out all these unique characters, and the creator thought they should put that in the metaverse and share it, and it was just a computer that generated all these versions of multiple images that went to the computer, and then you have the artists actually make the art, and they have to, make, if they're gonna do 1,000, they can't do 1,000 of the same piece because it's just one artist. You know what I mean? They can just maybe
Yep.
duplicate and whatnot, but not make 1,000 different ones. So that's something that I find very, very interesting about the NFT world that's happening at this point.
Yeah, that's actually it is art, but at the same time it can be generated by a computer by like very specific algorithms. So it really breaks the traditional ways how we look at art and what's created by humans and what's created by machines.
Machines are taking over.
Yeah, well, absolutely, absolutely, yeah, and people are liking it. So well, we have that.
Yeah, people are enjoying technology. I mean, it's getting to be pretty interesting. We're at that point where we are crossing from reality into what we see in sci-fi movies. So we're moving so fast that things that we didn't thought was possible when we were a child, it's more than possible at this point. So we're inside computerized worlds at this point.
Yeah, look at that beauty. The city center over there. We have some other buildings just in front of us. Over there is
Hmm.
the magical park with the stage and people on top of it. One of the beeples was auctioned there. You can see the mountains, lake. There are cars as well. We can show you one next time if you are interested. Cool stuff.
Hmm. And most of the things here are NFTs. This is like an NFT warehouse. So everywhere you look around, it's something that is a non fungible token. Somebody paid for it, and it's accruing value as it stands there. So, what do we have here on the screen?
Yeah, so maybe just what you said about everything being NFT is pretty awesome as well because we are sitting on one NFT, this parcel. I bought it,
Yes.
and some of these parcels actually cost more than like my physical parcel on top of which my brick and mortar house stands. So it's also quite crazy. But there's
It is.
real value because we get to make content like this in this parcel. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it has some utility, not just collectible. And here I put here the hash masks. That were actually maybe like second NFT that I saw. I saw the punks. Well, okay, I don't like this very much, and they are super expensive. So then I saw hash masks, and I like, yeah, this is something that I like. It has like something to it. Oh, and uh,
A
we
storm
have some
happening.
weather here, some storm. So you have to speak a little bit louder so you can hear us. It's
Okay, so
pretty
there's a
awesome.
storm.
This is really quite awesome.
Things that happen in the metaverse, right?
Yeah, this is first one because I already saw this rain twice, but this is big one. So you are lucky.
Okay, so we are actually in need of forecast channel. Arthur,
Absolutely.
if you're listening, you need to put a forecast channel. We need to know when it's gonna rain.
Yeah, exactly. This is crazy.
See,
Wow,
we might need a roof here.
thunderstorm. Wow. Well,
Okay,
you are
well,
protected by your suit, right? I'm not.
yeah, I'm good. I'm from the water, just so you know. That's why I have my bubble helmet.
You see it.
Okay, so
Beautiful
I guess
water.
we can talk over. Oh, thank you. We can talk over the rain and go over the hash max. Um, and yeah, what were you telling us about the hash max?
Yeah, well, I just like them. They because they look good, at least like to me. So here's even like some pixel part to it, but it's much more sophisticated. How to say it? they look more real to me. They are. I'm not too much about to the pixel art, but actually I like some pieces, some particular ones. But this one really feels more like yeah, just more interesting to me. But I guess it's just based on taste that you have. Some people like the pixel art, the simplicity in it. What do you think about it?
To be honest, I probably just want to know a little more of how the hash maps were made. But at this point, I agree with you. I think the hash maps, they have more detail and they have more to tell than what it's being trending on the metaverse and the NFT market, which is the crypto everything and the poly style, pixel style art. Um, this one, for example, I like that it has a lot of tribalistic and animalistic feel to it, and it just portrays a lot of information, like the Baroquesque style era, where it tried to tell us a lot of information is just one image.
Yeah, yeah, but the market doesn't care about what we think, as you can see. The cost of these hash
True.
masks is like somewhere just below 1 ETH, which is like completely different price range than what you could see in banks, and it's just yeah, the collectibility aspect in NFTs is a huge one, and it's not just how they look, but what they mean and what they represent. And the CryptoPunks represent really the first doubling into the NFT world. Someone
Yeah.
tried to create something cool, something unique that people can exchange, and it was even like their price was zero at the beginning, as far as I know. So they weren't even sold. It was just like fun project.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's something very typical that is happening is that the NFTs that are selling the most or are being trending they are because they have something behind it that makes them dynamic in some way. You got the cats that are being found on some kind of digital web or digital moon that you have to kind of find them, then you adopt them, and then you have the crypto monkeys and the other ones, and they all trying to follow this trend of what was successful. And just like the Bitcoin, for you got Bitcoin, and you have all these other cryptos that are trying to become the next Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, some that at least how I see it, some that are able to bring something new to the space, they have the value as Ethereum and others, or even Doge, which is bringing this I don't know, just meme factor, I guess, which any other
Right.
crypto isn't, but still it's something interesting, and it's I think it's skyrocketed lately, like totally crazy. But yeah, I think it's about NFTs. Like you can copy the concept, but if you are not adding anything new to that, then yeah, just it's not going to work. You can add your name if you are famous, then maybe just like adding your name to that, it could work. But if you are just emerging artist and you want to create another CryptoPunk, well, it's probably not going to work. I have one example of these long neckies that were actually created by 12-year-old Naila, a artist. So even for the age, it's quite incredible, and it's not. So one like special factor there could be the age of the artist, because we don't have many artists that are so young that would be doing art or NFTs. But also they are adding particular stories to each of these. They call them long neckies. So everyone has different story, and if you hold the long necky for 3 months, you get to you receive one part of the story, and you can even change the name or the story. So you are sort of you benefit if you hold the token, and you can do some cool stuff with it. Like you can even use it sort of for marketing, or just as a memory, because when the story finishes with 3 or 4 story parts, then it's minted to the blockchain and cannot be changed. So you can hold this token, create your own story for this long neck key, together with the artist, mint it to the blockchain, and it will remain there forever, which is quite unique idea. And
Right.
yeah, so this is what gives this particular one additional value.
Yeah, I mean, this series is very interesting. A 12 girl making art online, and like you mentioned before, it's just something that it allows you to make something last technically forever when it's added to the internet. And it creates value just because this idea of NFT is that you get the title of the first one ever made digital product or digital object, and that was lost when the internet came over. We stopped the idea of collecting the first book because now we have Amazon and the first book is digital. Everybody has a copy of it at the fingertips of their hand. The same with paintings and all that. When most of the artists just moved to digital because it was easier to get a job and all that. So the NFT has allowed us to go back to this idea of holding the first piece ever made of art piece from X artist, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, me too. Because yeah, I actually I'm one of the crazy people that uh, were as kids into Magic the Gathering and some other card games, and I collected hockey players. And yes, so all of these things. So this is just sort of this childhood dreams coming back, and the
Mm-hmm.
memories with it. And I actually know with the blockchain it makes even more sense, because those things and those ideas that you put on the blockchain, if they are good ones, they will remain there maybe forever, at least for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. And accessible to anyone all over the world, which is makes it so powerful. It's not like 100 years ago that somebody made a painting or they made a piece of art, and only the people around them would see this art. But now today, anybody can make an art, can publish it, mint it, and it becomes a piece of art that the whole world can actually have access to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that about it, and I think it's going to bring a lot of new ideas that people just haven't thought before, because there's just new capability that wasn't here before. And So you get to take art of your children, and you get to mint it to the blockchain and preserve the memory for future generation. And
Mm-hmm.
you can pass it, and it will stay there, and you can even offer it on the market, not really probably not to make the sale, as this beautiful heart of kids art projects. I think yeah. So you get to preserve the memories and share them with other people that can buy them and collect them.
It is beautiful, for sure. So I like. There's a question that I get asked when I talk to people about NFTs is that what is I wouldn't say what is, but is are NFTs only images or are NFTs only artwork, your traditional piece of art? What can become an NFT and what can create uh, value in the metaverse?
Yeah, yeah, and that's a very good question. And I think Yeah, well, simple answer could be it can be almost anything or maybe everything. But the question is what makes sense to put on the blockchain, what makes sense to make the NFT of, and you can actually because it was kind of funny this in one forum, one guy was asking about like he has physical painting of some artists, I don't know, quite famous. I don't remember the name right now, but this is a physical
Mm-hmm.
painting, and he wants to sell it using the marketplaces that we have currently, because using traditional channels it's quite difficult. You have to there are
Indeed.
quite big commissions and so on. But here you have OpenSea and other open platforms, so he wants to use these platforms. But he doesn't want to sell the. He doesn't own. He owns the physical piece, but doesn't own the art. He hasn't created it. So he actually is probably creating NFT of his ownership of the physical piece, not of the art, because the
Ah,
art is owned by the
right.
artist, of course. So like you can create these sort of abstract layers on top of each other, and I imagine that it could be maybe something as we have in financial sphere, where you have stocks and just other assets, and you can have derivatives on top of those, and you can trade those because it's easier than to exchange the actual physical assets and so on. And it's much bigger market. And I think with NFTs it will probably be very similar thing. So even the CryptoPunks, you get to actually trade them on OpenSea, which is not you are because the token is tokenized, because the token is actually not
Mm-hmm.
on the OpenSea. So you get these crazy abstractions on top of the original NFTs and a lot of different ideas.
It's a very young concept still. NFT is something that doesn't have a decade yet, and uh, I guess the rules are still kind of abstract, and there's a lot of gray lines that everybody's trying to navigate as good as they can. But I think is a great place to dive if you're interested in the crypto world. Is NFTs is something that can actually do a very good boost to economies around the world. And the way that I see it is that it allows um, artists and in every way to just create products that can bring income into these countries, and you don't need to have a big gallery or have a big name to be able to mint yourself. It just gives us a platform to be able to share and maintain the ownership rights and all those things. One of the problems with art is that you get copies so easily, and you have no control if you are a famous Instagrammer and then you steal the art of somebody else, and then everybody thinks it's yours because you have more followers, and that's something that I see happen on social media so often. And NFTs just give us that extra layer of security. So it's just one thing to watch out and just don't. I don't think it's gonna be a fad that's gonna pass in a couple of years. I think they're gonna stay here for a long time.
Yeah, me too. And actually, it can even reverse some of the relationship. And when we try to hold on what's ours for the rights, like what you mentioned right now about the stealing the art or ideas on Instagram, posting it on social networks,
Mm-hmm.
because like I think about it as, imagine like you create some art, you mint it, and you are unknown artist, and well, probably no one will buy it, or it will be for a very little price. But then someone really famous takes your idea, mint it as well for themselves, and they sell it for a huge
Mm-hmm.
amount of money, and then
Mm-hmm.
well, you can just say like this guy was able to sell like something that's copied for I don't know, for 10 ETH or for some even crazier amount. And I actually have original piece from which it was created. And do you want it? It will cost you, I don't know, 20, double that.
Right.
Because then
Mm-hmm.
this other artist gives it legitimacy. So you actually sort of
Mm-hmm.
maybe even want your piece to be stolen. I don't know, maybe it's
I mean,
crazy,
that's a
but
really good point. Yeah, no, it's a really good point. I mean, it's something. I mean, it's a crazy world, to be honest. Things are happening are just out of a sci-fi movie.
yeah. So far, yeah, one of them is this Ready Player One. If you haven't saw it, you should. And
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
should
yeah,
buy
yeah,
a
yeah,
VR headset and jump into Somnium Space with us.
for sure. All right, so the last thing I want to point out is that if you have any questions and you have uh, concerns about getting into the NFT or the crypto world, um, just post them here, and we'll gladly give you our feedback. We are experts in any of this, but we do feel strong about it, and we do our research, and we are kind of in some of the communities trying to just help it and boost it up and help all these artists have a voice. You can see the links on the descriptions, and we're gonna post it so you can see it later on YouTube and the other social medias as well. And make sure you check out all the links are in there. You're gonna be able to see the parcels, and you're gonna be able to go and see artifacts, galleries which are filled with a bunch of awesome NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. There will be a lot of different ways how to reach us on social media, or even in future. We are planning to invite you to this stage. Are the people that will watch these videos, so you will be able to really interact with us, not just through the chat or text form, but you will be able to be here with us and sort of make the show, which is what metaverses are all about. Not to stick to limitations of the physical world, but
Mm-hmm.
expand them and experiment.
Indeed. All right. So, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Follow us, give us a like or whatever it is that happens in whatever platform you watch us. So, thank you once again, and it's all for tonight.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.